what's going on. His buddy's almost dead. Little spoiled rich kid's even crying. Why do you have everything? Yeah, then how you're really gonna get wrecked, bro. Shin Jun-Yum activates his stone thruster and blasts a barrage of explosions at protagonist. The two sidekicks are standing there doing nothing, but doesn't matter. Protagonist tanks it all like a war machine, walking straight through the explosions. The little rich kid's falling apart without even getting punched. Explosion again. Praying protagonist's been vaporized. Nope. Look, he's standing right in front of you, bro, and he's not looking very healthy, but you're definitely worse off. He just says, don't blame others for what you don't have. He winds up a punch, and Yun-Hai jumps in. Stop. Come on, just because you're hot doesn't mean you can get in the way like that. She declares the evaluation is over. Damn it, he was about to land that beautiful punch on the punk. Little rich boy falls down, soaking wet, terrified. Still gasping, he says, have protagonist call his clones and clean this mess up. This wasn't my fault. It was that psycho using my skills. Lucky for her that our boy was in a good mood, otherwise things would have gotten real ugly. The boys are all there, cleaning up like maids. Sometime later, she says it's enough. Then she asks protagonist to follow her. Could it be something good coming? She stares him down and asks, of course not. Something good wasn't coming. How did you get rid of the weakening effect? Protagonist's all shocked. Bro, what did you think? You thought she believed you were actually weakening like that. He says the obvious. I just drank it and the effect disappeared. She's like, Baha, what's your poison immunity stat? Protagonist, around 8.138. Remember, after level 1, gaining even 1 point is super hard. She says, you'd have to eat extremely poisonous stuff every single day to get that high. How'd you do it? Ah, just trained a lot. Obviously, right? It was all the clones doing it sneaky. She lights up the prison field and says, well, it's not technically cheating, so I won't say anything. Other students will probably whine about it, but I can deal with that. Now get out of here. Our little protagonist just walks away all goofy. At least he escaped that one, right? Could have been worse. Because the most important thing right now is staying in this school and getting the elixir. But he's still confused about how he got that skill. Unbreakable body. You harden like a stone. Physical defense and magic resistance increase by 50%, and it reduces any pain. He figures it has something to do with number 7, and he's wondering, Mestre, you managed to use that skill. Then he freezes. Are they experimenting on number 7 after he got kidnapped? Maybe he should check it out. But then he remembers the skill protection protocol. Better leave it for now. Meanwhile, number 7 is there. Oh, Mestre, want to take a look at this. So confident. Huh. Protagonist thinks. Well, Heritage said they'll rescue him. They must know what they're doing. Back at Heritage, number 7 is breaking everything. They're shouting, stop T01. And he's there like, I'm number 7. The guy is warning. You're destroying priceless equipment. Number 7, don't care. Crashing everything. Suddenly, Raven shows up. Whoa, you're number 7? He's like, yeah. Seems like everything's already been taken care of before he even got there. All right, let's get you out of here, buddy. Clone's like, where you from, old man? Raven says he's from Heritage and that number 7 has to cooperate for 3 months. But number 7 hesitates. Heritage, never heard of that. Oh, the eye is already celebrating, thinking the brainwashing finally kicked in. Nope. Number 7 says, I only follow orders from my master. Raven's sweating now. Seems like the brainwashing didn't work, but they did wipe the memory of orders. Raven grips his sword, thinking, can't reach the master right now. Guess I'll have to take him by force. Number 7 warns him, you'll be treated as an enemy. Meanwhile, back at the Academy Hospital, the punk who got beaten by protagonist wakes up, still remembering the beating he got. Hand him on his face. I lost, about to cry like a loser. Still hurting all over. I'd even used dirty tricks and still lost. All emo, walking in the courtyard, when suddenly a big old hand grabs him by the neck. Hi, you for real, dude. I heard you passed out before even getting hit, you piece of trash. Spitting real facts, though. But suddenly, bam, protagonist kicks the dude. Shut the hell up, loser. Oh boy, protagonist's not playing today. Since the barrier's down now, time for some justice. He gathers the boys. All right, let's help our buddy learn how to speak respectfully. Smack. No time wasted. That's how you say please. Jun-Young is stunned. Why are you helping me? Protagonist. Don't get the wrong idea, bro. I'm only beating you up because you talk trash about me. I'm only beating you up because you talk trash about me. You're still the jerk who got in the way of my hunt. Don't think we're friends now. Starts walking off, but Jun-Young says, wait, protagonist. What? You want another lesson? But Jun-Young apologizes. The captain of Team 2, the abs queen, miss her already? Huh. She went way too far. She didn't need to do all that. He just wanted her to protect the groups that were stealing protagonist's hunts. Our boy gave him a little look but didn't seem to care about these lame excuses, while the clones kept beating up the losers. Back at the Atron factory. Yeah, guys, there was no way they could beat the rank as dude, right? But even so, the guy was impressed, saying the ranking system must be wrong to call this a Class B. He had to starve himself to beat the kid. Even at the end of the attack, the clone could still see the trajectory of his hits. Not to mention, because of the stat difference between them, the clone only blocked when he could counterattack. And the master of this guy has several of these. I mean, this doesn't fit me, but maybe I should think about taking an apprentice. Dude's thinking, is this guy the sword collector? It's him. Meanwhile, the poor scientist's still lying there like a melted slime. But he speaks up. I know you're awake. Whoa, hold up. What do you want, man? Talk to us? Raven already says, I'm the one asking questions and you better not lie. Did you create the Tron Eye? I did. The Eye's voice, was it Elisa's? Do you know her? Whoa, man, seems like a plot twist coming. The old guy's in shock. How does he know that name? Raven just asks straight, is she alive or not? The scientist stalls, tries to bargain. I'll give you a department, a bunch of items, just don't. Raven, shut up or I'll slap you. I'm the one asking questions. All right then, the joking stops. Yemans, tell me everything you know about her and Lieber Zinstein, her so-called lover. The old guy looks all awkward, says it's been a long time since he heard that name. Says he never saw Lieber as a colleague. Apparently, they didn't get along. Raven's like, good, because I'm planning to kill him. The old guy freaks a bit, but admits he knows something. There's a workshop Lieber used to use. But he's not sure if the guy's still there. It's been 50 years since he last checked. Raven says, that's good enough. The old man says he'll send the location to his bracelet. But Raven's like, nah, forget that tech stuff. Write it down on paper, fool. Ah, all right. He scribbles it out and hands it over. Then the old man asks, do you know anything about Elisa? Please tell me where she is. Raven just says coldly, I'm the only one asking questions here. Cut to protagonist getting the news that number 7 was successfully rescued. Only thing is, he underwent brainwashing and memory resetting. Could protagonist ask him to cooperate with Heritage again? Protagonist just agrees casually. But he's thinking, experiments, huh? Maybe that's why I got so strong back then. With all the stat boosts and new skills, he's pretty sure he's now Class A. And he jokes, maybe they should kidnap me too. Huh. Wait, what the hell am I thinking, idiot? I can't treat my boys like robots. In the end, everything worked out. He resolved the mess with the thieves, won the hunts, won the PvP, and got stronger. Everything's going pretty damn good. Recently, though, rumors started spreading across the hunting fields. Rumors that Jung Sang-woo's clones didn't just beat Class B hunters, but even classic groups. Why? Because people were stealing his monsters. But, like all rumors, the story started twisting. Now the talk is, those clones will kill you if you trespass their territories. Hundreds of victims. Death awaits anyone who crosses paths with them. And so the clones' bad reputation spread through the hunting fields. Nobody even looked at them anymore. Everyone's like, ah, sorry, Sir Clone, who won't come near, okay. And the clones are just standing there, all confused. And this went on for days. Meanwhile, protagonist at the bar with everybody celebrating, but Jung Bae says, I didn't really do much though, sorry. In the end, it was protagonist who had to fix everything. Protagonist, nothing man, your buff was the real MVP. But then a voice from the side says, look there, the most famous guy in the hunting industry. Oh, the guy's drunk, he's gonna talk crap and get beaten up. Hey Sang-woo, you think a Class B is all that? Bro, you don't mess with our boy. Protagonist's like, who's this lunatic? The guy's yelling, hey, let go of me. I'm telling the truth. This guy's a Class B, but he keeps sending his clones to take everything from the rank S. I spent all my money and can't even farm. Huh. But protagonist's confused. He hasn't sent his clones anywhere lower than a C rank field lately. Wait, what the heck is this guy? Slap it on his face already. The clone's standing right there. Oh no, this is bad. Could it be people are dressing up as protagonist's clones to boss others around? The drunk guy keeps ranting, you're occupying whole areas without even telling anyone. Then you show up after the hunt and claim it's yours. Sometime later, protagonist realizes what's happening. Apparently, there are people disguising themselves as his number 2 clone, locking down E and F areas to steal other people's earnings. Someone asks, are you sure? Protagonist, yeah, definitely. I never told number 2 to do that, and I haven't even sent him hunting lately. So there are fake clones out there. He asks the boys, hey, you ever hear about this? One guy says, well, I heard people say whoever messes with your clones disappears. Protagonist, yeah, true. You touch my stuff, you vanish. But Jung Bai awkwardly says he never heard about clones controlling a whole area. Protagonist asks Haeun if she's ever seen anything like that. She says no, she's never even been to a hunting field. Why not? He remembers she once asked him, please take me hunting, and he said he would, but you never did, right? Bro, you forgot about that? She's like, of course, I'm still waiting. He thinks about it. All right, let's go tomorrow then. Bro, don't you dare flake. The poor boy's sitting there like, can I come too? Next day at the JM agency, Junmo asks why he's getting geared up just to go to the academy. Protagonist explains, he's planning to hit the hunting fields himself. Junmo's shocked. You're going? Isn't it usually just the clones? Protagonist explains he made a promise. Also, there's a pump pretending to be one of his clones. He calls number 2. Hey, number 2, is this you? No, sir. That's not me. I haven't left here except when summoned by portal. Besides, compared to the man in the photo, his face is 2% larger, his shoulders are 5% narrower, and his torso and legs differ by. All right, chill. I believe you, man. But protagonist asks if the clone could recognize the fake if he saw him. Number 2 says yes. Meanwhile, there's already a skeleton slumped at the counter. Our girl took care of that. Protagonist says no need to help. She's crazy strong. He says she should do an evaluation test already. The clone goes scouting the area. She finds it weird. Our hunting field's always this empty. Actually, everyone's just watching protagonist from a distance. Nobody dares get near him. Please, number 2, find whoever's ruining our reputation. Cut to the kids farming out there, when suddenly the fake clone gang shows up. Hey, who let you hunt here, huh? This is our turf. Leave the bodies and scram. The kids are like, but it's ours. Fake clones pull out their knives and the poor kids run. One of them stuffing what he stole into a backpack thinking, good, they didn't notice us. He's seething. The pain I suffered, they will suffer. Jung-woo, this is all your fault. Who are you, dude? An old enemy? Meanwhile, our girl's blasting fireballs around, exploding everything. She's starting to get tired. Protagonist tells her to loot the place. He gets a message from number 2. Didn't find anything suspicious. So he gives the order, bring everyone here, except those protecting the hospital. That way, there's enough people to cover the entire field. They sip on a potion together, first normal potion protagonist ever taken. While the clones track the footprints, she's there throwing mana balls at the little skeletons that are already running away. Some poor folks were found farming. I don't know if it was one of the protagonist's clones who found them or the fake clones, right? The glutton kept looting. Nobody had found anything yet. And weirdly, he didn't find anyone wearing a similar outfit. Haven already finished her hunt, already handed over the items and got her picks, cash transfer, from the place that buys them. She wanted to give half to our boy, but he said, you can keep all the drops, it's your first hunt. She said it was too much money, and our boy, feeling himself, said, you really don't know how much I make, huh? Well, let's head back, girl. But when protagonist is heading back, he spots Shin Jun-young. He hides right away. Could that idiot have something to do with all this going on? Scene changes to the mending girl saying she's sure it's him. After all, what's the reason for a B-rank hunter like him to be at an E-rank hunting field? Jun-mo agrees, saying the High Song Guild is always trying to mess with our boy. However, protagonist finds it weird. He just gave the crazy dude a warning. No way he'd be that stupid. Then she says, wasn't that the captain of the High Song squad who attacked you? You didn't kill her, right? Protagonist says yes, but why? She says that if there's one thing she learned living in that place, it's that if you don't finish off trash, it comes back to bite you. Protagonist even got a little scared, bro. And just like trying to prove her words true, the fake clones started getting even worse with their actions. There's some poor guys there. Yeah, all we managed to get was this man. Yikes, now they're starting to extort the kids. Leave your gear and get out. Yikes, the girl there's like, but we're still hunting. Bam, gets kicked right in the middle of the legs. I don't know if it hurts for women, but on her it definitely hurt because the poor girl's on the ground wrecked. People wanted to report the clones, but they were scared of being killed. Anyone who wants to enter the fields now, first thing they ask, hey, are Jung-woo's clones around? We can't say dude, but they insist we have the right to hunt without fear, show if he's there or not. The rumors about Jung Sang-woo and his clones just kept getting worse. And the worst part, most of the victims were E and F rank hunters. Even the academy people started giving protagonist weird looks. If this keeps up, it might even affect his chances of getting the elixir. He gets a call from number 2 and asks, did you find anything? He says no, but he did see the High Song Guild coming into the E-rank hunting field. Protagonist like, you sure? He's absolutely certain, bro. Even said they brought a whole flag with them. If that's the case, open the dimensional portal. He's going personally. The guys are negotiating some armor when, boom, something explodes behind them, everyone getting spooked. Protagonist already coming in like, what's with these outfits, huh? The long-haired dude, oh crap, tells the team captain they found him. Prota's just watching the armor the guys are holding. Was it you guys again? Yikes, he's not happy, huh? Wondering if you can throw a corpse into the storage dimension. Man, these guys really came, thought they'd run away, they're bold. But there's that one fanboy charging straight at him with a punch. Huh, look who jumped in to defend. Already sending the kids to the back. Little do they know, protagonist's way stronger now. And from what I remember, she was kinda into our boy, right? She tells everyone to fall back and says this one is the real Jung Sang-woo. Protagonist confused, what do you mean real Jung Sang-woo? But she's all excited, saying his muscles have grown so much. He wants to know, what's this talk about the real Jung Sang-woo? What's she trying to say? They're not the fakes. She says they're not. Why would Hai-song do that after everything that already happened? Then Shin shows up, saying actually they're here helping to hunt down the fake clones. Prota's kinda impressed the guy's got some invisibility skill, but he wants to know, Why are you trying to catch my fake clones, huh? Why are you helping me? Shin says it's his way of apologizing. Trying to be friends, huh? And he says that they still haven't figured out whether it's one guy or several. They have no idea who it is, but they prepared bait. There are some fish-headed monsters getting wrecked until a clone shows up. Hey, you said you could hunt here? Dude, we have permission from the guards. The clone asks, what's your rank? The guy says, this is an F-rank area, so I'm F-rank. Now mind your own business, I'm busy. The clone didn't like that at all. Are you crazy? Don't you know who I am? We know it's the fake clone. I'm Jung Sang-woo, the one who defeated an A-rank hunter. Oh, little bro, it's the shadow guy that protagonist beat the crap out of, and he already says, I know Sang-woo very well, but you're fake. That guy really knows him, bro. He got properly beaten. Next panel, the poor guys are already wrecked. The fake clone is saying, you're gonna regret this. But he warns, you really don't know the real Sang-woo. The portal opens behind him and the real one shows up. Man, protagonist. Oh, so it was you, huh? The guy, who actually does look a lot like protagonist, is already gathering all the gear they used to disguise themselves. He pulls out the clothes they had hidden and a bandana and a mask fall out, and the pirate guy takes a look and remembers something an agent said. A ninja who had a clone skill and wore an orange scarf. The D-rank hunter, Kim Dong-yeon. The illusion clone skill. Basically trash, right? You got exposed, my dude. Now what, huh? Take that wig off, loser. The guy tries to make excuses, but protagonist just tosses his little helmet. Here, use this so your head doesn't explode. But dude, you've got no chance. Protagonist charges confidently. He tries using his clones to distract protagonist, but no way. BM hits him straight in the face, sending him flying and crashing into a tree, completely wrecked. Our boy's a bit dark now. Get up. It's not over yet. The poor guy's broken, bro. This is the strength of your hard work. I worked hard too. Even though his illusions don't deal any real damage, you train anyway. When he went looking for groups, people would see he had a clone ability and think he was like Jung Sang-woo. Well, you make clones like Jung Sang-woo. Welcome to the team. Oh, no, wait, your clones are just illusions? Never mind then. Because of all the comparisons, he never had a shot. But when he started walking around with his clones dressed similarly, everyone thought he was Sang-woo. And then they started obeying him and leaving everything for the greedy one. Man, that's the saddest, not-so-sad backstory I've ever seen a side character pull off. Honestly, he deserves even more of a beating. He tries doing the Naruto clone thing, whole bunch charging at protagonist, but our boy's tired of this already. He just grabs the guy's sword. There he goes. It's over. Another blow right in the mouth. Knee to the gut, man. He knocked out all the coconut water he drank. And protagonist keeps going wham. Another one to the face and another. A JoJo missile barrage. The poor dude's down. There's nothing left. And still protagonist not done. Finally starting to feel better, our boy's getting his revenge. Shin Jun-young walks over to the wrecked guy's body, looks at him and tells protagonist that he made the same mistake as that guy and apologizes properly. Our protagonist kind of accepts it, while the boys don't really like teaming up with enemies. But since this dude is the son of the big villain, better to use the son to beat up the father, right? Oh, beautiful. Family drama right here. And they already put the loser to work farming crystals for protagonist. Next chapter starts with protagonist giving out a reward. Well, kind of, like just some meat and a pile of crystals. Sitting there, protagonist remembers something Shin Jun-young told him. There's one more thing. You better be very careful with the academy. They're not just trying to train hunters and hand out free skills. Protagonist, what do you mean? Jun-young says he's not sure yet, but he'll tell him once he's got more accurate info. But for now, stay away from the prayer room no matter what. What's going on here? Villains everywhere, nobody honest in this world. The abs warrior should have at least thrown herself at our boy a little bit. Didn't even flirt. Come on. Scene shifts to Prota's evaluation form. He got an A+. Someone asks, what's this? Our big sis says it's the evaluation. The director slams the table in anger. He didn't like that protagonist got an A+, huh? Man, what's going on here? She says she did everything properly. He received the weakening potions. He was banned from using clones, and even so, he won, right? So the evaluation is correct. The director, angry, says that he purified the potion, so it's not fair. But she says that was with his skills. What's she supposed to do if the potions don't work? The guy's furious, but she slaps him down hard, man, playing with a badass. She says enough already. You only have a bunch of F-rank teachers. You accepted a student like Sang-woo who's way stronger, and now you're mad because you can't control him with the elixir. The director, all twisted, says this might disrupt the class. She tells him, deal with it yourself. Go tell him directly. I'll just follow the curriculum, nothing else. Man, she explodes in the room saying that if they called her again to talk nonsense, they're gonna die. Damn, how cruel. Oh, the guy made a call in order to place instructor Hwang-yeon Hai as the teacher of the prayer room. Oh, there's definitely some shady stuff going on with that room. Next scene, they're being introduced to the hunting techniques teacher of the academy, a C-rank hunter, Jang Sung-won. He was asking them what they thought was the most important thing in monster hunting. status, teamwork, good equipment. All of that's important, but the main thing is strategy. And he tells them to look in the book for strategies to beat each monster. Heian's all excited there, saying she even sees a little skeleton. But protagonist finds things weird, like in the rat section, for example, that says, you can attack them effectively with close-range attacks. Their weak spot is their skull. Protagonist questions why their strategies are so wrong compared to what real hunters use. He's no genius at hunting, but his clones studied everything and tested it out, so this info is wrong. What's the academy trying to do? Bro, this academy is super suspicious, guys. But the teacher announces they're moving on to the practical part in the monster hunting training room. A furry pig shows up, man, already getting sliced, and he says, so, pretty realistic, right? All of this was made using a hunter's ability. This is where they'll learn how to fight without risking their lives. Not only will they learn strategy, but also how to overcome fear. Protagonist asks if it's okay to use his clones. The guy says yes, but isn't sure if they'll work. Protagonist happily summons 2 big-headed clones, and for the first time, people see the squad. The teacher tells everyone to get ready because they'll all be sent to different places. Everyone starts glowing red. Poof, they vanish and appear somewhere else. In protagonist's case, a kind of dry forest. Protagonist hears a voice behind a little tree, a warrior girl asking for help. But it doesn't seem very nice. A bunch of deformed humans asking for help. Man, terrifying for our boy. Protagonist says the teacher told them the monsters were supposed to match their rank. So what's this? Man, they already turned into giant ants like Hunter x Hunter, charging at him. The teacher's walking among the cylinders, taking a peek at protagonist. What you gonna do, buddy? Heck, what's that, bro? Pulled a sword, what you gonna do? Damn, but right next to him, do you need help? Oh, girl, now it's getting crazy. She screamed, scared, and fell to the ground, asking, who are you? He says, I'm number 3, dude. Mister told me to protect the portal against disasters and threats. The teacher, I understand. He hits up saying he was also keeping an eye here, just patrolling the students. The clone simply agrees, saying it's awesome of him. But he was thinking about pulling something shady. Man, looks like he wanted to defeat the clone and mess up protagonist. But after getting that stare down, he just left. Alright, thanks bro. See you, buddy. Meanwhile, inside the illusion, protagonist is fighting the giant ants. Bro, it's one dodge and then he slashes them right in the face. Takes fireballs too. Stone skin is happening as well. Man, he's actually getting kinda skilled now, huh? He's got tons of abilities, the sneaky little guy slicing through everything. Protagonist just found something strange though. If the summoned monster was supposed to be a creature 1 rank below the hunter, why did he get 5 screaming dragonflies rank B? Like, dude, are they trying to kill me? What's going on here? He comes back to the capsule, bro steps out, everyone's there all sweating and beat up. Most people look like they failed. Protagonist asks Heian what she fought, and she says it was these giant turtles where her attacks just bounced off. The professor shows up again, giving a little speech. Some of you failed, some succeeded, but strategy is the most important thing. With that, class is over. Our boy's finding all this a little confusing. Number 3 comes to tell him something. Outside, the professor approached secretly while they were hunting. The clone says yes. Protagonist thanks him, bro. Good thing that Shinju young guy told him to keep an eye on the academy. You can't trust anyone here. Way too suspicious. First, a 3v3 fight, which isn't something that usually happens in the hunting fields. Then a solo hunt against a monster, when everyone normally hunts in groups. What's happening at this place? Yen asks what they're talking about, and he says, it's nothing much. Tell us what's the next class. She says the next class is history and understanding of the system, at the prayer room. Oh, he immediately remembers the warning, don't enter the prayer room. He doesn't just not want to go, he wants to save her and tries to invite her. I don't want to deal with this today. How about we watch a movie instead? She wasn't really convinced, she just said it's a mandatory class, so they can't skip it. Plus, it's a class about the history of the system, and she's super curious. Protagonist's like, Heian, I'm serious. I'll send my clones to attend instead. But the warrior girl insists and saying, nope, we gotta go. You're not skipping this class. But bro, no time for that nonsense. Whack to the back of the neck. Sleep baity. You're not making this disaster happen, no way. He apologizes, thinking maybe he went too far and maybe it's nothing too bad. But he's not willing to risk it again. This time, he's not going to hesitate for a second to protect the people who matter to him. Sometime later, she wakes up in a bed. Nah, not really a bed. Just gets up and Mendigana, potion lady, introduces herself, saying that Sang-woo left her here. She asks, wait, why did Sang-woo bring me here? The king of lying said that she passed out because of the hunting class, got too exhausted. But she can relax, he covered for her. There's a clone with a wig over there, dude. But she wants to know where protagonist is, bro. However, Mendigana says Sang-woo will be back soon. Now take this vitality potion here, bro. It boosts your status for a certain amount of time. Meanwhile, our boy is at the academy, all stealthy and hiding around. There's no problem at all since number 2 is marking his attendance. But here's the thing, bro. He wants to flip this whole thing upside down. The problem is, he can't, right? He needs the elixir, and if he does that, he'll be expelled. However, he also can't just sit around waiting for Shin Jun-young to give him the info he's looking for. He'll have to run a little investigation of his own. As he's walking around, he sees what seems to be the room of someone important, and he notices some shards of glass outside. Not to mention the window is open. Who's that maniac over there? It's Shin Jun-young, bro, two shady dudes. Hey man, what are you? Hand over the mouth. Be quiet. I'm the one asking. What are you doing here? I said I was going to get that info. Protagonist says that Haeun's been acting strange. He remembers that moment when she got a bit aggressive saying they had to go to the prayer class. Shin Jun-young asks, that girl who's always by your side? Protagonist says yeah, it seems like she's been to multiple of those prayer classes, and when he said he wouldn't go, she got kind of aggressive. Protagonist asks, isn't that why you're here too? You said that place was weird. Jun-young calls him over, bro, pulls a little book down, reveals a secret room. For your information, I just found this today too. Alright, I haven't even looked yet. Who? They're about to discover things together. Dude, check out that gamer setup. Who's playing League of Legends? Protagonist sees cameras, microphone, it looks like a contact hub. Shin Jun-young. Wait, let's grab the data then. But then they hear some noise outside. Someone talking. President, are you in there? The two of them freak out. What are we gonna do, crazy dude? Protagonist says, I have teleportation and you have invisibility, man. Let's bail. But Shin Jun-young says that they heard the noise. If they disappear out of nowhere, they'll look suspicious. Whoever it is, they're already smashing the door in. Protagonist's like, I dunno. Use one of your abilities or something. You've got a bunch, right? Already popped a ton of orbs. Oh, the guy's like, unfortunately, I do have one ability, and activates the Chumillion skill. Meanwhile, protagonist just hides, all chill. The door opens, bro, who's here? When the guy looks, oh, something happened. Our dear Shin Jun-young disguised himself as the president. Why'd you bust the door down? The guy, he looks like a priest. President? Protagonist opens a little dimensional crack just to hear what they're saying. Oh, president, didn't know you were in here. Yeah, I had to come here urgently. The guy asks, did the master call you by any chance? Now he's like, master. Who's that? He plays dumb. Yes, he did. Ah, just as I thought, huh? Must be because of that problematic duo, Sang-woo and Jun-young. You two little punks. The president. Yes, both of them are very problematic. The priest apologizes for barging in and says everything will be handled in the meeting 3 days from now. Oh, the two of them are shook. As he's walking out, by the way, Professor Hizioki, you didn't forget the time of the meeting, right? The guy replies, of course not. It's at 11. Got the info. A while later, protagonist steps out of there like, yo, what's going on with this whole master and meeting talk? We're the problematic kids? Shin Jun-young in shock, sipping on a mana potion. Shut up, I almost got caught just now. Then protagonist asks, why did you say the prayer room was strange to begin with? Come to think of it, you were there during the first class too. He simply says as alerts went off. He originally tried to attend the prayer class because it was mandatory, but the second he stepped inside. Alert, mental protection activated. Mental protection activated. There seemed to be something trying to affect him. He was just looking around like, what the heck? Who's using mental skills on me? He tried moving to a different place, even to the bathroom, but no matter where he went, the warnings wouldn't stop. There was no vibration or mana flow. That means the entire room was full of mental skills. Protagonist's like, why didn't you warn everyone then, you punk? He replies, for the same reason you're not doing anything either. You could have just destroyed the academy. But you know you can't do that because the elixir is at stake. In the end, they need the information. They need to put a leash on these people. Protagonist agrees, right? They're gonna have to find some kind of weakness. They try getting into the computer, which obviously has a password, right? But turns out they're real dumb because there's a little sticky note on the wall with the password written on it. Look at protagonist's face. Here it is, the password's right here. And the two start snooping through the files. Scene shifts to Haeun, receiving a vitality potion from our potion hag. She asks, what's this? Potion lady's like, drink it. Come on, your fatigue will go away. Haeun thanks her but says she's all sweaty from everything. Can she take a shower? Potion lady's like, fine, I'll take you. She starts removing her clothes and our potion lady gets all shy. What is this plot twist? And she asks, excuse me, what's your relationship with Sang-woo? Haeun says, nothing much, we're just co-workers, not a big deal. But hold up, what the hell? She pulled out a massive scar on her back. Back to the church, where the boys are reading through the files. Shin Jun-young. So this is the academy's goal? Brainwashing all the students. And it's in the prayer room that this happens. Everyone becomes a puppet of this guy called Master. Protagonist's like, how many students are there already? Jun-young replies, close to 10,000. And if you count all the Korean branches, over 30,000. Protagonist starts to worry. Imagine a person controlling 30,000 awakened people and sending them into the streets. Then Shin Jun-young sees something on the screen. Take a look at this list. Hunters who haven't been brainwashed. Dangerous people. Rank B hunter. Jung Sang-woo. Must be removed. People to be observed. Shin Jun-young. Rank B hunter. Removal of guild leader postponed for now. Shin Jun-young warns him. He and everyone around him are now in danger. But protagonist is more curious why Shin Jun-young isn't a target now. Why are they postponing him? He says it's probably because they don't want to mess with his father's guild, and also because protagonist is currently more dangerous than he is. Then he switches expression and says not to worry about the agency. He had already warned that Heian seemed off. And look at her now, pinned to the ground by the clone. She's all sweaty on the floor, a clone holding her down. But she says this situation isn't that bad, and even adds that if someone's gonna be on top of her, it better be Sang-woo. Junmo and the potion hag run away. Junmo asks, what the hell is up with that crazy girl? She says she'll explain. On the phone, someone tells him just not to leave the agency. It's protagonist. And he already explains that's why he left number 2 there. She thinks he's gonna subdue her. Honestly, she seems like she's enjoying the subjugation. Protagonist says things are even more serious than he thought. Population awakening progress, 89.8%. Our boy gets it. This isn't something they'll be able to solve with just the 3 of them. They're going to need help from other guilds. The thick-thighed one is coming. Scene shifts to a man working on a sword. Someone's calling. Hubert. He's like, oh, what is it? This is the leader of the Heritage Equipment Development Team. And look, our friendly girl just brought 2 sewer rats with her. Oh, what is it? Is it the clones? You were totally focused on that, huh? Looks like you managed to analyze the skill. She's all excited, observing attentively. A total clone. Kind of digital. It's a complete failure. Nothing but an illusion. He didn't manage it, huh? Loser. Meanwhile, Big Mouth is just living the good life at Heritage, and she's thinking she wasted 13 billion giving that sphere to protagonist. Humbert's like, you made such a fuss last time over that cape, and now you're calling me to show this fake rat? She's like, huh. No, of course not. We actually made some progress. Ta-da. We managed to copy a piece of equipment. That alone is already a big help for our plan, right? Hubert says that at the moment he's more worried about restoration. She remembers a sword that apparently no one wants to touch because they're afraid of breaking it, but maybe they'll find a way to restore Earthquake. Steen shifts to the vice captain of Canis, Hworyong, checking out the waifu and asking if this is really the girl with the brainwashing because she seems normal and there's no strange mana flow. One Taz staring like, yeah, while she's tied up and gorgeous, obviously. She begs to be let go, saying her parents are waiting. He asks the potion hag, are you sure she's brainwashed? She replies, absolutely. She tried to blow my head off. But then someone opens the door saying, this isn't just your usual brainwashing. It's worse than we thought. Protagonist and Shin Jun-young obtain some info. The hag's like, you bastard, why'd you call the High Song Guild? He's all casual. I know you don't like High Song, but thanks to them I captured the fake clones, and they do seem to be helping here. She's mad, clearly not into it. But then our waifu gets all emotional. Protagonist, why'd you take so long? Come here, they're misunderstanding. Let me go. Our boy just lowers his gaze and says, these files are from the office. Take a look at this, guys. He skips ahead and everyone's like, hold on, this is insane. Murder? Brainwashing? And what is this Harvest Day? Protagonist says he doesn't know much about it yet, but it's related to the moment when the whole world's population will awaken. But the biggest danger right now is the brainwashing. Protagonist asks, do you have any guild members who enrolled in the academy? Wan Ta and the cutie say, yeah, a few of ranks E and F joined. Protagonist warns them not to let anyone know they're connected to him. Otherwise, it could be dangerous for their people inside. Shin Jun-young says the problem is, how do we solve this? Mental protection skills are really rare. Hardly anyone has them besides him. The QB says, are you guys sure it's brainwashing? I couldn't detect anything even though she has a skill related to brainwashing. So it might not be that kind of thing. And besides, there are 30,000 people just in Korea. There's no way that many people in the world have a skill like this and are doing mass brainwashing simultaneously. Shin Jun-young says anything's possible. After all, even protagonist's skill makes no sense. No one fully understands the potential of all awakened skills. But one thing's for sure, every skill has a weak point, even this one. And when he was in the president's room, the professor said this. In your opinion, was it the right decision to accept those 2? We even disobeyed orders just to reach the other academies. Shin Jun-young says that from this conversation, it's clear they're disobeying the master's orders. Protagonist kind of realizes they might have some ideology or goal, but each person is doing whatever they can in their own way. Protagonist stands there thinking because even though the guys haven't directly attacked him yet, well, they almost did when he was in the capsule. Shin Young adds, whoever's doing this probably isn't brainwashed. Otherwise, they'd be acting like a robot, just obeying orders. Maybe the guy's goal is something more normal, like just killing protagonist. Protagonist's like, dude, a normal goal? Really? Then Junmo says this is really bad news because they can't even detect the brainwashing. That puts them in a huge disadvantage. Shin Jun-young says at least now they know the enemy's biggest weakness. The fear isn't of failing the mission, it's of being abandoned by their master. They're gonna have to exploit that. In 3 days, during the meeting that's going to happen, they might change everything. A bit later, Shin Young and Protagonist are talking. He tells Protagonist that if he stops going to class, people are going to get suspicious. So yeah, Protagonist says he's thinking about going. Shin tells him to just send the clones, it shouldn't be a problem. But our boy knows. He's been going every day. If out of nowhere he starts only sending clones, it'll look suspicious, and that could put everyone at the agency at risk. Besides, he wants to experience for himself how people behave under the effects of brainwashing. But the important thing now is what they're going to do with Haeun. Does Shin have a plan? He says he's got an idea, but it's more like a gamble. He knows someone who got transferred to manage the prayer room. Our teacher gets a message left on her desk. When she opens it, use mana on your head. So the 3 days that followed, Protagonist went back to attending the academy normally. He knows the order to eliminate him has already been given. They probably already noticed that sometimes he sends clones to class. And the scariest thing is that there might even be students going after him. He's curious to know how long someone has to stay in the prayer room for the brainwashing to start working. But watching his classmates, everything seems normal. Well, until, bam, a stab comes from behind. Dude's made of steel. It hit him and the guy collapsed onto the desk like it was nothing. Protagonist turns around to see who threw it. Everyone's like, not us. The demon teacher. Mr. Sang-woo, is there a problem? Protagonist just stares at him, thinking, so this is how you want to play it. Nah, just going to the bathroom. On the way, some girl bumps into him. She's like, oh sorry, I was just in a hurry. He says it's fine, but his clothes were torn, man. Looks like she tried something. It's strange because everyone's acting normal, but they're all trying to kill him. Of course, he's not really in danger since they're mostly low-rank hunters. Still, he can feel the killing intent. They even tried to poison his drink, bro. Sang-woo, drink this and keep fighting. I'm rooting for you. Trying to poison the Poison King? Well, hey, at least it gave him some XP. And like that, 3 days passed. At a meeting table, they're all gathered. Someone says thanks for coming. Today's the day they deal with the disturbance. Luther's the druggy area professor, Kang Majiong, and the hand-to-hand combat teacher, Ba Ja-yuk. The president jumps right into the subject. We're here to talk about Jang Sang-woo and Shin Jun-young, those two. Scarface slams the table. We never should have accepted those two, especially Shin Jun-young. How are we going to act against someone backed by the Haesan Guild? But another teacher jabs back, you also agreed, saying we gain influence with Haesan. He's all crook now. I said that if things went right. Chill out, everyone. They're all bickering. One teacher says, obviously no student here is going to put a scratch on them. Musclehead asks, they're that strong? Someone says, even if all of them attacked together, they wouldn't beat Protagonist. You should have seen those clones fight. The president says not to worry. The master hasn't abandoned them. Soon, 2 Class A assassins from Scorpion 13, the Assassin Association, will arrive. They're feeling all happy like, yeah, Class A. But bro, y'all gonna need at least a Class S to take out Protagonists. I'm just saying. Still, they're confident. Apparently this Scorpion 13 is real tough. They're just not noticing that someone's coming through the door. Bam. Someone's already flying across the room. Who is it? He's here. Didn't y'all just get beat up? Well, thanks to all of you. I had a hard time these last 3 days. Let's use this meeting to decide your punishment. Damn, he's gonna beat up the whole staff now. Protagonist going full beast mode. Starface Professor. Jang Sang-woo, he. So, Professor, what's up? Why you look so confused? You were staring at me the whole class. The president tries to play dumb. Jung Sang-woo, why are you here? Let's talk. Protagonist ain't got time, bro. Ignores it and says, there's 5 of you and 1 of me, right? Let's balance this out. Boom. Everyone's got a clone on their back. Now we can talk. He starts going off. It's been amazing these last 3 days. Everyone trying to kill me, each time more daring. Poison, ambushes, hunting rifles. On top of that, I had to protect the whole agency building. The president tries to play dumb. Mr. Jung Sang-woo, what do you mean kill you? Ah man, the professor already paid the price. Snap, finger broken. Don't talk nonsense. Whoever thinks they've got strong fingers can lie. Muscle guy gets up and takes a hit in the face too. Protagonist says he's losing patience and the president asks, what do you want, Mike? Say it. You know that if they disappear, it's not just him who'll be affected. Protagonist gets it. You're threatening me with the elixir. I'm just stating facts, he says. Then Protagonist gives them 3 conditions. And all the brainwashing. He's the one who goes to the World Academy competition for the elixir. They don't report any of this to their master. Everyone's silent. The president, king of the bluff, thinks Protagonist doesn't know. Sorry, I don't know what. Snap another finger down, bro. The guy doesn't back down. He says Protagonist's judgment is wrong. If you think this is the way, kill us now. That threat won't work. Also, he should give up on the elixir. Protagonist stays calm, saying he knows exactly how he's doing the math. We flash back to Shin Jun-young, who warned him not to show weakness. He knows his protagonist tends to go soft. Protagonist, what you talking about, man? I'm tough. But he told him, for you to get those terms, you've got to be violent and reckless. Otherwise, it won't work. You gotta show your will. Back to the scene, protagonist pulls out a card. You think I don't know about your master's existence? You want these documents here spread worldwide? Oh man, he throws everything on the table. If I reveal this, it won't be just Korea's branches. All the academies in the whole world will be investigated. I don't know what your master is planning, but this'll definitely mess it up, right? Someone's already freaking out seeing that sword. Let's stop wasting time and wrap this up. Toss everybody's corpses into the portal. Bro, is he really gonna do it? The president asks for a minute. Why do you want time? Protagonist asks. You were sending those text messages, right? Waiting for the Scorpion 13 people or something. But yeah, looks like they've arrived, huh? Something's coming through the window. They already shown up all bloody and haven't even fought yet. President's getting excited, but it's already clear why they're covered in blood. They got wrecked too. Tossed on the ground. Protagonist, done. Now it's easy, because you got nobody left to wait for, right? 3 seconds to answer, let's go. 3, 2. The guy runs for it. His ability is permeation. He can go through any material for a short time. As long as he crosses this wall, he can escape. Skill got cancelled. Faceplant like a clown. Of course it's your waifu on your back, bro. Didn't expect her to do something like this, huh? She turns and smirks. So what were those conditions again? Go ahead and say them. And so eventually President won Hackso and the others accepted protagonist's conditions, and the academy went back to running normally. That day, there was a conversation between Won Ta and the leader of Guild YOLO. They were the ones who helped stop the Scorpion 13. Only they also got help from protagonist, and she's like, how is he still rank B? Doesn't make any sense. Since it'd be way too suspicious to shut down the prayer and system study class completely, they just destroyed the object that caused the brainwashing. And with that, it turned into a regular class. Yunhai, with her ability that cancels any effect, cleared the brainwashing from the students. Of course, our professor didn't have any brainwashing. He was just straight up crazy. And so Haeum was cleansed too, bro. Protagonist asks her if she's okay, but she's crying, apologizing, saying she must have gone crazy. But protagonist says it's all fine. And with that, the 3 days of chaos came to an end. We see protagonist now, bro, he's basically running the entire academy. President, what's my grade? A plus, of course. Great, kicks the desk. No more fireball training. Okay, we'll do freezing magic instead. Yeah, bro, or else them fingers are gone. But somewhere else, someone notices something off. The Korean branch said, issue resolved. But Scorpion 13 reported that they failed the mission. The guy with the ring asks the kid with the star on his chest what he thinks of it. He replies, whatever you think, you're right. I just follow orders. The human sitting on the throne responds, your answer is lazy and boring. If I lost is dying for you the correct answer? The guy replies, yes, I gladly do it. And boom, he's gone, bro. Dude got blasted, just telling a joke, he says. All right then, clean this up. Whoa, everything's hidden. We don't even know his name, his rank, nothing. We just know this is the master. And now he's ordering someone to investigate a certain Jung Sang-woo. Hello. Back at school, students reacted 2 ways. The girl who tried to stab him, I'm sorry. I don't know what I did. Some people apologized, others just ignored it. Protagonist just looks at them. It's fine. Haeun says he's being way too chill, acting like everything's normal. He's like, what am I gonna do? They only attacked me because of the brainwashing. No point beating them up now. Also, next class is stamina training, right? But suddenly she changes topic. Were you gonna take me to a movie? Let's go now. There's one I want to see. Protagonist, what you talking about? We got class. Your stats are garbage. Sigh, he's gonna take her anyway. But bro, this stamina class, they could train that kind of stamina. Look who's teaching. Big punch guy. He says today they'll compare stats from when they enrolled and your grade depends on how much it increased. She asks if protagonist did that to the poor kid, pointing at someone beat up. He says he just gave him a little lesson. She admits she's kinda in a slump. Her skills are increasing, but her power and stats seem stuck. Protagonist says maybe the training field is the key. Ah, alright then, I'll head back there. At the range, she's tossing her magic balls, some guys lifting weights, everyone throwing spells. Protagonist had the biggest stat increase of all, and really, since everything's resolved, he doesn't even have to do this. But hey, since he's here, let's try it out. He goes to the instructor and asks what's the heaviest weight this machine goes to. Instructor says, the weights are controlled by gravity stones, so the strength depends on the lifter. But yeah, there's a setting that's impossible to lift. Protagonist, oh, alright then, set it to impossible. Dude's like, you sure? Already plugging it in. This setting's just for show, man. Nobody actually trains with it. Protagonist gets ready to deadlift. The guy sets it to max. Our boy notices that despite the embedded gem, it feels like a normal bar. Actually, it even feels kinda light. He tries lifting it, bro, but the thing's not budging. He's biting his lip. This is the weight I wanted. The machine starts smoking, the gem bugs out, and he lifts it. Of course, only because the gem broke. Oops, my bad, I overdid it. The poor guy's holding the bar. What can you even say? Still, our boy liked the training. He's already planning to make all the clones hit the gym overnight. Only weird thing, he hasn't seen Shin Jun-young for a while now. Could it be that the guy gave up on the elixir? What's he thinking? The evaluations are coming up. Shin Haesung seems to have told someone that the academy is really dangerous and that the Haesung Guild needs to prepare, since he and the protagonist managed to stop the bad guys temporarily. Could it be that the guy gave up on the elixir? What's he thinking? The evaluations are coming up. Shin Haesung seems to have told someone that the academy is really dangerous and that the Haesung Guild needs to prepare, since he and the protagonist managed to stop the bad guys temporarily. The captain of the Haesung Guild says, so if they're a threat, why don't we just wipe them out already? He explains, it's because of the elixir. If they shut the academy down, they lose the chance. The captain replies, you already have Captain 2, right? The abs girl. So what else do you want, man? But he says she won't be able to handle it. Still, the captain's got no patience. Why'd you even enroll in that academy? You just playing house now or what? They gave him all the support and went through all the trouble to send him there, and in the end, he makes friends with the protagonist. He walks off saying, you better focus on your evaluation. I'll pretend I didn't hear anything and won't tell your dad. Besides, the guild doesn't expect much from you anyway. Damn, Shin Jun-young's just standing there like, but I am trying. He's wrecked. But then, 3 magic balls come flying. Did they hit the mark? Damn, she's really accurate. Problem is, the target didn't even flinch. So yeah, she's still weak. She's disappointed. A few days ago, the protagonist couldn't even use Fireball properly, and now his are way stronger than hers. She can't keep being a burden to him. She storms into JM yelling, everyone eating their ramen jumps in fright. She says this is the only place she can trust. She wants to get stronger. Accept me into the JM agency. Meanwhile, the protagonist kicks open a door. Open the training room now. The president's like, ahem, hello, isn't it a bit late? The protagonist says during the day it's being used so he can only train the clones now. The president tries to throw out excuses. Training room, using it outside of hours. Protagonist grabs his finger. Yeah, using it outside of hours is great. I'm using it. All right then, he says, I'll use it all night. Don't turn off the lights. Okay. The president thinks to himself, I did my best to stop him. Sorry, Shin Jun-young. Our boy in the hallway, perfect. After the hunts, everyone's coming here to keep training. Got it? We own this place, so y'all better be training. But then the scene shifts. Shin Jun-young's 2 friends are in a dungeon hunting, chatting. Musclehead says he thinks Shin Jun-young is faking his rank. He talks about that conflict after the big battle. At the moment he grabbed Jun-young, something popped up on his screen. The opponent's stats are too low. Contempt for the weak has reached its limit. He says right after that, the protagonist showed up, so he didn't get to figure things out completely. But Shin Jun-young's skills aren't really at a level you'd expect from a rank B hunter. Shin Jun-young's on the floor, sweating. The protagonist walks into the room and sees him training with 3 kilograms weights, chugging potion after potion. He's totally exhausted. Protagonist asks, what is this? Jun-young wants to know why protagonist's even here. And then it's revealed. Alright, he has the Great Sage. He learns any skill faster than anyone else, and anything he learns instantly reaches max level. But there's a penalty for that, Weak Sage. All of his stats are fixed at 0.2. Damn, that's rough, bro. Like, once he learns magic, he'll be insanely strong, but physically he's super weak. Protagonist sees this and says, I want an explanation. What's going on? Shin Jun-young gets up all crooked, saying he was just working on the evaluation, and he's done now. But protagonist stops him. Hold up, don't go. He shoulder checks him, angry, and says it's obvious what's happening. He's exhausted just lifting a 3 kilograms dumbbell. This is the price of his awakened ability. All his stats are stuck at 0.2. The protagonist gets scared, man, but then comes a flashback. When he was a kid, he tells this uncle like dude something, and the guy replies, ah, so every skill you learn comes at max level. The dad shows up saying, isn't that excellent? The doctor says he might be the first class S in Korea, a magic genius. Most skills, aside from awakening ones, can be learned in 1 or 2 months. But there he is, using Fireball for the first time. And any skill he couldn't learn, they just bought it with the Haesung family fortune. Everyone had high hopes for him. The dad always believed in him, right? The guy was like, you're the future of Haesung. Work hard from now on. He's sweating just thinking, ah yes, father. But the pressure was insane for the kid. You're a genius, the first rank as hunter, the hope of Korea. He had to be the prodigy, but all his stats were stuck at 0.2. If he had said that back then, we skip ahead. He's on the treadmill. Years later, struggling. A researcher tells his father. His basic stats haven't gone up in years. Dad says, take Jun-young to my room. And that's when he confessed. All my stats are fixed at 0.2. The dad, wait, forever? He tries to brush it off, says he'll work harder, but it's already too late. Dad says, if anyone finds out, they'll think our family's defective. He's pissed just thinking about it. All those top-tier items, all that time and money, completely wasted. Then he asks, you only have 0.2 mana too. That means everything we spent on you went down the drain. The kid's crying, not knowing what to say. The dad says, I'm not beating you only because I'm afraid I'd kill you. Damn, that's maximum level cruelty. Man, what a brutal scene. Back to the present, because of all that, all the articles and headlines about him disappeared, and he only got a B-rank hunter license because of Hai-Sung's support. But then he heard that an elixir could be obtained at the academy, a miracle potion that removes any curse or illness. That's when it became his life's goal. To hide that he had no mana, he always kept mana pills between his teeth, and he drank some juice, actually a disguised mana potion, but still, he lost to the protagonist. He then asks, for you, awakening was a blessing, wasn't it? But for him, it was the worst curse. The protagonist realizes, so that's why your stats didn't go down during the fight. They literally couldn't get worse. The protagonist asks, who else knows about this? He replies, only my father, older brother, and a few squad captains. Protagonist says, man, if you were training with a 3 kilograms dumbbell, why didn't you do it at home? Why risk getting caught here? He says it's easier to train at school. Plus, he didn't expect people to show up to train at midnight. Also, there was that training equipment with a gravity stone that adjusts to the user's strength. But when he got there, it was broken. The protagonist pretends to know nothing. So when you enrolled, what stat number did you enter? He says, 40. The protagonist, you bastard, you multiplied your stats by 200. He's like, I didn't know they'd check again, man. This sucks. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I'm out of here. But while leaving, he asks protagonist, don't tell anyone about my penalty, please. Our boy doesn't really know what to say, just scratches his head. Walking back, he remembers something. His dad with some chick says, you what? You want a candidate for the ranking test? Then he asks his son, you know this Jang Sang-woo guy? Shin Jun-young replies, wait, you mean that clone guy? The old man says, that's the one. I saw him back when he was class F. I laughed in his face when Junmo took him in. The kid was pathetic, especially with someone like that managing him. But just a few days ago, this same Sang-woo jumped to class B without lifting a finger. Man, and the dad still mocks the son, saying that he laughed at Junmo for picking up a rock from the road while he had a diamond at home. Who would have thought that his so-called diamond wasn't worth anything? Damn man, this dad doesn't stop roasting his son. The poor guy is all sad boy mode if there's a hand behind him. He got caught. What's going on here? You've been captured, kid. He asks, who are you? And the person goes, sha, quiet if you want to stay alive. Then the story jumps to Jam, where our Haeyeon is telling Junmo that she can't deal more damage, no matter how much her skill increases. Junmo says maybe it's a lack of mana. She's not putting enough power into her hits. But Haeyeon says mana is actually her strong point. Junmo asks if the Academy's evaluation is still going to take a while. She says, why? Then he goes, well, you said you wanted help and to join the agency, right? I do know a specialist in mana control, but her training's really tough, you know? That's our casual friend who's about to train our waifu. What madness, man. Damn. Sometime later, we arrive at the day of the base stat evaluation. There are 5 parts to the test: strength, reflex, stamina, mana, and resistance. Once you finish one part, move straight to the next. Now then, let's begin. Who's feeling confident? Step right up. Whoa, Shin Jun-young steps up first. Confident much? Must have pulled some tricks. Huh, you sneaky dog? The guy nearby says, hit with everything you've got. Shin goes, all right. This guy knows his stats are trash, so he says, watch this garbage punch I'm about to throw. But the protagonist, watching, says, his interference is a problem. Wait, did the protagonist get involved here? The punch comes in, bam, hits the wall, bends it. Everyone's kind of stunned. Ah, look what he did, man. It's the protagonist's clone using the chameleon skill to match his stats. Well, the protagonist's clearly making friends with someone strong, huh? And it doesn't seem like Jun-young's going back to being a villain anytime soon, maybe. Who knows? We get a flashback of what happened when that person captured him. Guess who it is? Obviously, it's the dummy. He came to talk about the evaluation. He asks, what are you doing, Sang-woo? The protagonist goes, just answer one thing. Can your chameleon skill change other people's appearance? He's like, what do you mean? The protagonist explains, can you change my clone's appearance to look like you? That way you can pass during the test. The protagonist adds, don't get the wrong idea. I'm also after the elixir, so I won't always help. But this way I can clear my suspicions. And since the dude's got chameleon at max level, of course, he can transform into anyone. Everything worked out. 40 in the strength test. Then reflex, stamina, mana, resistance, all perfectly 40. Everyone watching is like, damn, but isn't this guy a long-range damage type? How the heck does he have 40 resistance too? The musclehead's in disbelief. His buddy tells him, dude, give it a rest, just do your evaluation already. But remember when Jun Young gave him that speed buff, and he only managed to jump once? We know it's because his mana ran out, but that guy there is still like, maybe I'm overthinking this, whatever. The professor reviewing Shin Jun Young's record and current power says, strength from 38 to 40, the only weird thing is that everything hit 40. So the average increase was just 0.2. It's kind of disappointing, but not terrible. Jun Young's mad in the back, fuming. That idiot. I told him to input 40, but didn't think it'd land exactly on 40. How do those clones have such perfect control? The guys are arguing. Did he do something shady? No, man. Didn't you see the wall bend? Jun Young's like, hemph, it passed, but it wasn't impressive. Thanks, Sang-woo. The poor guy's got a stomachache from all the mana potions he had to chug just to keep Chameleon active. Then the protagonist goes, well, there's something I want to check too. Alright, I'll go on with the evaluation. The guy goes, alright, you can hit the pad. But the protagonist's not here to waste time. Boom, he already throws that punch, the thing gets all bent out of shape in the back. Wall, is it gonna break? It flew, damn, the wall went flying. Didn't break, but still flew. The protagonist noticed something. His stats stopped increasing with just the crystals a while ago. The poor guy who's been eating crystals 24/7 doesn't do anything else in life. The protagonist, he eats them all at once, just grabs and gulps. But the stats aren't going up anymore ever since number 7 was kidnapped and had that sudden power surge. So yeah, what's he gonna do with that guy now? The poor guy who's been hunting crystals for him this whole time. It's time for our boy to visit Heritage one more time. When he gets there, look at the guy's smug face. So you couldn't even copy it, huh? Aw, poor thing, right? Laughing in their faces. She looks at him. Are you sure you feel sorry? Our boy says, yeah, I feel so bad. Aw, that's really too bad. It's such a complex ability. But she smirks, saying she managed to use the cloning ability on equipment. The protagonist, hold up. How did you manage that? It's even weirder. She says it's impossible for an ability to surpass the original's potential, but maybe it discovered something the protagonist still doesn't know. That means his ability is going to evolve. She changes the subject, saying there are some people who want to meet our boy. He's like, huh, me? And then she introduces him to some guy named Hubert and Raven. Hubert thanks him. Thanks to the cloning of equipment, he's finally going to be able to evolve some stuff he's been wanting to for a long time. Protagonist goes, hey, glad I could help. And she goes, you already know Mr. Raven, right? Raven gives him a little look like, protagonist, do I? She's like, wait, you don't know him? He's the strongest swordsman in the world. Rank S sword hunter. Then yeah, the protagonist's like, wait, what? Rank S hunter? As far as he knew, there weren't any rank S hunters in Korea. So, who the hell is this guy? Raven just turns his back. It's fine. I'm not even the strongest in the whole world. She tells the protagonist, it was him who rescued number 7 back at the Tron Company. He trashed everyone. The protagonist's like, then there's something I want to ask. You remember the experiments they were doing? Raven says, of course. I remember perfectly. There were machines, pipes, glowing monitors, and a bunch of robots. My answer helped, didn't it? Everyone's face says it all. Obviously not. What a crap response. Arya tells him, relax. They ran several tests, and apparently the protagonist's clone was exposed to DEP. Our boy asks, so was Tron developing that? She goes, again, so you've heard about it. He says, yeah, but as far as he knew, people would turn into uncontrollable monsters on the spot. She agrees. He's right. It was indeed an incomplete product, but they ran some tests on the clone and created the perfect DEP. The one used on him didn't have any side effects. Then she says, I think you've reached the limit of the stats you can gain using crystals. So from now on, you'll only grow stronger through natural means. Our boy just puts a hand on his face. Sigh, I'm gonna have to work out. She asks if there's anything else the protagonist wants to know. He thinks, well, might as well try. Who knows if she knows? Then he says, do you know what the harvest day is? Bro, her face goes stiff and everyone's staring at him. He's like, did I say something wrong? What happened? Raven presses a device and boom, a blast goes off near the protagonist. His bracelet seems to be disabled. Raven says, relax, translation still works. But from now on, you better choose your words wisely. Like, what the hell, man? But the protagonist's not playing either. He says, all right, I'll change the question then. Are you guys from the academy? Boom, pulls out 1,000 clones and activates stone skin. Oh boy, the situation's about to blow up. Our boy's facing them solo. Everyone's in shock. She steps in yelling, stop, both of you. Screams at the protagonist, they're not your enemies. But man, once this protagonist gets mad, there's no going back. I don't think you're going to convince me that easily. You guys started this. Well, look over there, Raven, put your sword away, man.